mayor of New York City is praising the sacrifice of a Colorado paramedic, promising that Paul Carey's heroism before he died of COVID-19 will be forever honored in the city that he went to rescue. Mayor Bill de Blasio spoke at length about Carey during his daily COVID-19 update today, saying the Aurora resident clearly saved lives after coming to New York to relieve a beleaguered emergency response system that was fielding more 911 calls than ever before.
We have lost someone who came to our aid, to our defense. And there's something particularly painful when someone does the right thing. A fellow American comes from across the country to try and help the people in New York City, and while working to save lives here, gives his own life. It's very painful. And I gotta tell you, it just hurts that such a good man has made the ultimate sacrifice for us. So to the Carey family, we honor Paul's sacrifice. We honor what Paul did. He clearly saved lives while he was here. We honor all of you. We grieve with you. And we're going to find a way to create a special memorial for Paul here in New York City.
Mayor de Blasio said that memorial will be a way to remember all of the healthcare professionals, military members, and others who raced to the city to help. Well, May has arrived, and here in Colorado, getting a haircut or shopping in person at retail stores once again are allowed across much of the state. This as Colorado eases restrictions set up to stop the rapid spread of COVID-19. However, stay-at-home orders do remain in place for much of the Denver area, with only essential businesses like grocery, liquor, and hardware stores open. Stores that are reopening have made changes to protect people's safety. For example, dressing rooms are closed. One-way aisles have been set up to make it easier for customers to stay 6 feet apart. Offices will be able to reopen on Monday, but only with half the usual number of employees. And Governor Polis signed a handful of executive orders late last night, one of them extending the closures of ski resorts through late May, another limiting the evictions for the month of May for renters. During a web-only news conference today, Polis reminded renters that they still do need to pay their rent. It's just now a question of when. He said if renters were unable to pay in April and again this month, they will certainly need to pay in June, and that will include the months that they missed.
And to be clear, there could be some evictions if they're based on public safety considerations, if they were predating COVID, but the courts are not yet back to normal functions. They're doing the necessary criminal work they need to. For civil processes around evictions, those will begin in June. They're not occurring in April. They're not occurring in May.
Part of the executive orders also prohibits landlords from charging late fees or penalties to tenants who don't pay their full rent this month.
Business owners and activists rallied at the Capitol this afternoon, calling for more freedom to move and do business in Colorado. The group Reopen Colorado says the restrictions have been disproportionate to the threat COVID-19 poses. They say the restrictions are creating a series of unintended consequences that are worse than the virus. They're asking for a more targeted quarantine of the elderly and immunocompromised, and they would also like more temperature checks for people in public buildings and businesses and more antibody testing. We know that students are not getting all of the attention they need right now. Remote learning is hard. What's unclear, though, is how teachers will play catch up in the fall, if and when the kids get back to the physical classroom. Ryan Hara has more on the major hurdles that parents, teachers, and students face and what experts say should be a priority.
We've heard it this week from the state's largest teachers union.
I think that our students are going to come back in the fall with significant mental health needs.
From Denver public school administrators.
This becomes, unfortunately, an additional slide in terms of educational gaps.
And the Jeffco superintendent.
They're going to have needs. They're going to be academically struggling.
Keeping kids out of the classroom, eliminating testing, the trauma associated with the deadly virus will put just about every student behind, especially since there's little uniformity in what's being taught district to district in these times.
I don't think that anybody can really count on what happened during this remote learning time.
Erin Anderson, assistant professor of educational leadership and policy studies at the University of Denver, says the learning lag will impact lower income families most. Denver Public Schools, for instance, has spent millions just to make sure kids have computers and internet at home.
That's just the baseline of kind of equity and fairness.
Students with learning disabilities will suffer without regular classroom time, too. Districts must hyper-focus on these groups to prevent worst-case scenarios.
I think the long-term effect is going to be pretty significant.
Districts are already talking about increased seat time, extended school days, and years. But every educator we've spoken to says priority number one has to be the mental health of students. Anderson says schools will have to rebuild relationships, engagement, and culture before making up for lost classroom time.
I think everybody recognizes that the learning happening now is important, but that we really need to just protect and care for each other.
All of this as every district in the state plans for massive budget cuts to their already cash-hungry schools. In Denver, Ryan Harrer, 9 News.
It's going to be a challenge, and the kids are going to need a lot of reassurance. Anderson is working with other scholars to examine how principals across the country are reacting to the virus, what they're doing. And while districts are preparing for some sort of a return to a physical classroom, they're also looking at the fact that teachers have some safety concerns and that districts should be preparing for even more remote learning next year during the school year at some time.
Well, goodbye to April. Hello to May. Very warm weather to kick off the month. The heat is back, but some gusty storms a possibility here and there today as well. Meteorologist Kathy Sabin joins us in the month of May, and some of those storms might be severe tomorrow, Kathy.
That is very possible, Tom. Happy May Day to you. And a new month. It doesn't look like it's going to be a whole lot new in terms of a weather pattern shift here, but we're starting to see a little more moisture coming in those typical garden variety thunderstorms that we see each afternoon. We're already tracking today in some areas. Let's go out. As we look east over downtown Denver, there are a few fair weather cumulus clouds dotting the horizon, but up north we've had a little thunder, a little lightning up north of Netherland, Estes Park, and up in southeastern Wyoming. Temperatures are warm, mid-80s this afternoon with less cloud cover today. We've seen that warming trend. A lot of snow melt in the Colorado high country as well, and we'll soon be talking about the flood threat with some temperature trends above average for the next few days. Cluster of lightning over northern Colorado and southeastern Wyoming. Nothing severe as of yet. Just a bit more moisture working in from the southwest underneath the ridge, which has been so dominant this week. Thunder, lightning for Cheyenne up toward Laramie, back toward Walden, Steamboat Springs, and Kremling. And we have an isolated thunderstorm potential here in Denver and along the Front Range tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, a little upper air disturbance will cross the state, and that means a wider area will see afternoon thunderstorms that could produce a bit of hail, wind, and lightning. There is a marginal risk tomorrow that we'll see some stronger thunderstorms, especially over northern Colorado, southeastern Wyoming, and western Nebraska. Tonight, partly cloudy, a isolated storm early and then clearing. The front kind of moves through overnight, so there'll be some areas of fog and maybe even a little bit of foothill drizzle early on. If you sleep in, you probably miss the whole thing. We go back to sunshine in the afternoon. That'll cook up those late day thunderstorms. Temperatures in the mid-80s this afternoon. We will be cooler tomorrow. Something we'll break down in our main weather segment. A mild weekend, but we do have to talk about that thunderstorm outlook, Tom, as it is May, and this is when we start to track those storms almost every afternoon.
Yep, as things heat up. All right, Kathy, we'll visit with you in just a couple minutes. Thanks. It is that time of day where we take account. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment releasing the new data on COVID cases statewide. Sadly, the death toll has once again jumped to 820, 43 more than we knew of yesterday. Since the virus came to Colorado, 75,259 people have now been tested, and the total number of cases now stands at 15,768, 484 more since yesterday.
Military planes flew over medical centers across the Oklahoma City area today to celebrate first responders. The 97th Air Mobility Wing and the 71st Flying Training Wing partnered for that flyover salute. The flyovers are celebrating healthcare workers, first responders, transportation drivers, grocery workers, other essential workers that are all out there on the front lines of the pandemic. As more states move toward a reopening or partial reopening of their economies, there are also protests across the country that are in still a lockdown status. It comes amid some hopeful news about medical advances that could assure a safe reopening long term. Alice Barr has more from Washington.
On this May Day, from the White House to the Golden Coast, protesters taking to the streets. Essential workers are calling for more protections.
If the nurses are not safe, then the patients are not safe and the community is not safe.
And while several states are reopening today, those still under lockdown are facing growing pushback. President Trump tweeting today the governor of Michigan should give a little and make a deal after armed protesters demonstrated in the state capitol yesterday. In her first formal briefing today, the new White House press secretary backing up the president.
The president says, that we must protest lawfully and act within the bounds of the law.
In the race to reopen safely, the FDA granting approval today for emergency use of remdesivir, a drug that's shown promising results in the sickest coronavirus patients.
We're humbled by this being an important first step for patients, for hospitalized patients. We want to make sure nothing gets in the way of these patients getting the medicine.
The drug company agreeing to donate 1 million vials to hospitals starting Monday. At the same time, the White House revealing Operation Warp Speed, a team of researchers working to develop a vaccine in record time. All while President Trump is again blaming China for not containing the virus from the start, threatening sanctions, and contradicting his own intelligence community about how the outbreak started. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
President Trump is heading to Camp David this weekend, his first trip away from the White House in more than a month. And he says he plans to get back on the road as well in Arizona next week. Our neighbor